back, ladies and gentlemen, to Jaguar Health's channel committed to discovering, developing, and commercializing plant-based prescription medicines for urgent global health needs. Joining us, as always, we have the pleasure of Lisa, the Chief Executive Officer here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Love to be here. Love your enthusiasm as always.
I always love having you back. We've got lots of big news coming out of Jaguar. I'd love to break down. First and foremost, this is going to be a mouthful here, so bear with me, but you recently announced the Napo Therapeutics submission of orphan drug designation application to the European Medicines Agency for crofelemer for a severe congenital diarrheal disorder condition. Now, can you kind of explain this, maybe simplify it a little bit for the newer audience here and tell us what this means for Jaguar?
Sure. Okay, so Napo Therapeutics is the company that we established under exclusive license from Jaguar in the European community to crofelemer for all indications. So it's being pursued in Europe. And the focus and the strategy of that company is on rare diseases, orphan drugs, because there's an opportunity for expanded patient access, early patient access to get meaningful revenues in the next year, which means meaningful health benefits to the patient. Okay, so short bowel syndrome with intestinal failure is already orphan designated, and that's what Napo Thera is pursuing. Intestinal failure is when you're not able to absorb the nutrients of life, the proteins, the carbohydrates, the vitamins, the minerals, and instead you're hooked up to tubes, sometimes 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for parenteral nutrition. Congenital diarrheal diseases is another source of intestinal failure that is congenital, it's inherited, and is a situation that's very rare, but where children are born without the ability to absorb these nutrients of life, and specifically a mechanism that is targeted by crofelemer. So we have investigator-initiated program that is starting right now in short bowel syndrome and congenital diarrheal disease, and again, under the orphan drug umbrella, which I assume CDD is going to get, we'd be able to provide patients with product, hopefully, potentially as early as next year under expanded patient access.
That's incredible. And just kind of pivoting a little bit into some other news there as well, you recently launched the first U.S. Canine Cancer Registry and Canine Cancer Care Index, which I know is relatable to some of your products as well. You want to kind of just insight us on that?
Yeah, that's absolutely a fascinating program. So this is back under Jaguar. This is crofelemer for dogs with conditionally approved by the FDA for chemotherapy-induced diarrhea in dogs. Cancer in dogs is remarkable. It's 5 times the incidence of humans. 1 in 4 dogs, over 50% of the dogs that are over the age of 10, and there's no registry in the United States. There are registries in Europe, and registries are important because they're information. And with information, you have the opportunity for early diagnosis. What are the best options for preventative care, for treatment care? And overall, how do you provide the best comfort and support and best care for your animal? And ultimately, you know, for the patient, which is the dog, the patient owner is the decision maker. And it's a very scary event when you get a diagnosis. It's a very siloed event. And the other thing a registry does, it just takes the power and harnesses the community that is dealing with this to provide information so that you in this singular event can have the best pathway and the best outcome. So this is totally important for the health of the dog, the health of the community. It's open source, it's free. But for the company, for Canalevia, for us to provide the most comfort to dogs, we need to have dog owners knowing what their options are to treat their dogs, putting them on chemotherapy, and then Canalevia can help them be successful in that treatment. And that's success for all the stakeholders in Jaguar.
Now, you guys have a lot of catalysts going on here and a lot going on under the hood at Jaguar. Do you want to give some insight here into what investors should be focusing on and a little bit of guidance moving forward into this year?
Yeah, we have these 2 big events, clinical events that we expect to be over in about the next 12 to 15 months. At Jaguar, it's our human cancer therapy diarrhea related program, phase 3 program. And then at Napo Thera, it's the short bowel syndrome and the CDD proof of concept trials that will support expanded patient access. But what's always ongoing are business development activities, so we can have collaborations around the world to make sure our product is available to all patients in need, human and doggies in all the different geographies of the world. And I think you can expect to see some business development deals in the very near future at Jaguar.
Well, on that note, Lisa, I'm going to pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you guys think about all of us in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because as that news comes down the wire, of course, we'll continue to update you here. But on that, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.
you.